Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel where we discuss activity that goes on here with the channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, sports, entertainment, and things of interest that just seem interesting throughout the week here on the BuzWeaver channel. I want to thank all you guys across New Tech as well as here on YouTube for all of your guys' continued support.
We start things off from the New York Times and archived today, of course, because the New York Times is behind a paywall. So I don't know how many people are actually paying to access the New York Times via the internet, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Trump indictment. January 6th riot was fueled by lies from Trump, special counsel says. Now, it's absolutely fascinating to me that the same group of people who perpetuated a fabricated Russian collusion story and intentionally censored Hunter Biden's laptop is going to advise us on what is or isn't a lie. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all interpretive. These are assertions and or just bias charges, one could argue, just as easily as they're trying to argue or insinuate what Trump was thinking. How does one exactly interpret what someone is thinking in their mind? Former President Donald Trump was charged with 4 counts in connection with his efforts to subvert the will of voters in 2020. Look at the language, guys. Look at the framing. Despite having lost, the defendant was determined to remain in power, prosecutors wrote. Really? That harsh, huh? Former President Donald Trump was indicted on Tuesday in connection with his widespread efforts to overturn the 2020 election following a sprawling federal investigation into his attempts to cling to power after losing the presidency. Oh, the framing here is just absolutely amazing. The indictment filed by the special counsel Jack Smith in federal district court in Washington accuses Mr. Trump of 3 conspiracies. 1, to defraud the United States. A second, to obstruct an official government proceeding. The certification of the Electoral College vote, which is, the primary thing they're trying to cling to. And a third, to deprive people of a civil right. Oh my goodness, trying to turn the people against Trump with language. The right to have their voices or their votes counted. Mr. Trump was also charged with a 4th count of obstructing or attempting to obstruct an official proceeding. How does one actually demonstrate that? How does one show a jury? As a result of this idea we are suggesting, how does one derive an actual, tangible, quantifiable answer to that question when these are the same people that perpetuated a fabricated Russian collusion story and intentionally censored Hunter Biden's laptop? I mean, there's no mystery here what links these people will go to maintain their power and control. Let me illustrate this again. Less than 90 minutes after Twitter employees had determined that Trump tweets were not in violation of Twitter policy, Vijaya Gadde, Twitter's head of legal policy and trust, asked whether it could be, in fact, coded incitement to further violence. So when this team, apparently trying to exercise some level of common sense and rationale, is trying to tell her that he didn't really do anything that could be attributed to inciting violence. So she said, oh, then it must be coded incitement. So in her interpretation, in her mind, it's incitement because she just deems it to be within her own imagination. And keep in mind here, Senate acquits Trump for inciting Capitol riot even as bipartisan majority votes to convict. So they acquitted Trump because they know also that when it comes down to the reality, to the tangible evidence of what's going on, they have to interpret what they believe happened versus what actually happened, because what they believe happened can be whatever they want it to be. Let's not forget, the FBI finds scant evidence U.S. Capitol attack was coordinated. So even here, the FBI is saying that they could not find any sort of relevant connections. And then, of course, here we have Trump's actual tweets that they're questioning about how he incited. So apparently they're just not paying attention to what they're even saying. Or, of course, the whole exercise is to just paint Trump to paint a dark cloud over Trump, which is exactly what's happening. So this is a weaponization of the Department of Justice. Here's Donald Trump. I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. Then he says, Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have these actual tweets here, which anyone can see. They're right here from Viva Frei that people can read, and then you can interpret yourself. So if they can interpret the idea and concept behind their own personal bias as being something Trump incited, then why are they not taking, or why can't people, rational common sense people, take what Trump actually said here and see that it was not intended to incite, or he had no intention to incite, much less overthrow our government and or the electoral process. It's absolutely amazing. And also, remember, Kavanaugh accuser admits she fabricated allegations as a ploy for attention. Now, I don't know why she's trying to... This is Christine Blasey Ford. Remember, they were trying to suggest that she was assaulted by Brett Kavanaugh during their college years, and it was absolutely fabricated. I mean, it was absolutely... Dianne Feinstein drug... or actually, what I mean by metaphorically, drugged or pulled over Christine Blasey Ford to appear there just to paint a dark, disgusting cloud over Brett Kavanaugh. So these are the same people that are trying to suggest to me, or trying to suggest to the American people, that Donald Trump, in his mind, was trying to incite violence at the Capitol. Absolutely amazing. Now, you guys may remember, I'm trying to remember if I covered this. I couldn't find it in any of my videos. Clyde Bundy, armed standoff case going back to court. Now, if you're not familiar with Clyde Bundy, this was an extraordinary, incredible case of a rancher, a landowner, being accused of occupying government land that was demonstrated belonged to him. And this was very serious, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is a great documentary on this as well. And it was literally a standoff with ranchers and the federal government. As you can see in these images, these are federal agents that were on the other side lining up with arms, as well as the ranch owners, many of them here you see. And there was almost a standoff, a firefight, as it were, between the Bundys and federal agents. It's absolutely astounding. And here's what's even more incredible. From the Gazette, police put up fencing around Capitol ahead of Trump's arraignment. I thought fencing and walls didn't work. Why are they doing this? Police have set up fencing around the United States Capitol ahead of former President Donald Trump's arraignment. What an extraordinary display of drama by the Democrats, by the establishment uniparty. This is such an illustration of the absurdity that these Democrats are reaching to be able to convince everyone that, oh, this world, this country is in so much danger because of Donald Trump, a billionaire who never had to run for office, who's never been remanded into custody, and has never been suggested is a flight risk. He could fly anywhere in the world he wants to. The man is a billionaire. He could just walk away from this, and that is the intention, is to get him to quit. They're not going to be able to find anything of any substantial, rational, cogent facts to substantiate their absurd argument. Trump is scheduled to be arraigned for his third indictment, ladies and gentlemen. His third one on Thursday afternoon, this time over charges relating to January 6th Capitol riot. The arraignment will take place at a courthouse located between the White House and Capitol. Ladies and gentlemen, how much more can I point to this article right here? Senate acquits Trump for inciting Capitol riots, even as bipartisan majority votes convict. How many times can I point to this? How many times would I have to point to these before people get it? Now, I understand the one-sided discussions with leftists and progressives and even Democrats. I totally get this. But the idea that they're trying to sell this to the American people, that Donald Trump, of all people, who didn't have to be president, who has tweets right here that everyone can read, he said, no violence, specifically, stay peaceful. Yet, you don't hear much about it. You probably haven't heard the media even mention these tweets, although Viva Frei did bring it back up. But these are the things that they intentionally suppress, just like they did with Hunter Biden's laptop, because they have an agenda. They have a direction they want to go in, and that is to get President Trump to quit and or give people enough, or just give people their own, well, basically to get people not to like Donald Trump, as though he's a huge, danger to society, a one-dimensional villain. Absolutely absurd, ladies and gentlemen. There he is right there, Jack Smith, the orchestrator, a part of this. Absolutely absurd. And that's what I had for you guys this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. And, of course, below this video in the description, you can find the various Amazon links. Of course, if you are an Amazon Prime user or order frequently from Amazon, be sure to use those links as it does help out the channel. And, of course, all you guys on New Tech as well as here on YouTube, your guys' support is always appreciated. And appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon. You guys can click on to subscribe as well as to select notifications. And I'll see all you guys right there behind the Galaxy phone camera next week.